What's up, everybody? Dr. Ark 1985. There's levels to this. Let me fix my camera. So, I literally just made this video. I literally just made this video, and for whatever reason, I didn't set up the mic right, so I spoke for about a full 15 minutes, and the whole thing didn't freaking record. So we're gonna redo this video. All right. So there's gonna be a little bit more aggression and a little bit more annoyance in my voice because of my mistake, right? I don't like wasting time. All right, so here's the deal, right? A coworker of mine was talking to me about this, and he asked me, to talk about this on my channel a while back. I just never got a chance to do it, but we're gonna go ahead and do it today. Okay? Pretty much what he was talking to me about was how he felt like video game developers. He did mention a specific one, but I'm not gonna mention a specific name. But he said how video game developers seem to be pumping out the same exact games. They just change the name of the title, they change a few of the characters, but it's the exact same game. He even went into details as to a few mechanics that are in one game. He went ahead, pre-ordered this other game. When he started playing it, he said he literally realized that it was the exact same thing. I'll give you a hint. One game, he says you use a bird, and the bird goes above and scouts the ground and all this other stuff. And then in the other game, which is supposed to be a new game, you use a drone, and the drone goes around and scouts and does the exact same thing that the bird does in the other game, right? So I was thinking about this. Are we actually playing the exact same game over and over again, just with a new skin? And then the second thing I was thinking about is that a bad thing though? If we were, if we were playing the exact same game over and over again with a different skin, is that a bad thing though, right? So hear me out, okay? I like first person shooters. I like third person shooters. I don't like RPGs. It's not my thing. I like adventure games. I don't like puzzle games. I don't like race car games. I don't really like sports games either. Like I'll play a sports game here and there, but it's not really my thing, right? So with that being said, um, I like adventure games, but I prefer a third person shooter over an adventure game. By adventure game, I mean like Link, Breath of the Wild, um, God of War. Like those are cool, right? Like I'll play them. They're alright. But I prefer like a third person shooter over those. So like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, stuff like that. Gears of War, right? And Gears of War is unique because it's a little bit different. And then when it comes to first person shooters, I mean, that's the one genre where you could legit say it kind of feels like you're playing the same game over and over and over again. Just different maps, a few different mechanics here and there. But again, is that a bad thing, right? So I can only tell you from my opinion, right, and my experience, okay? So I played Far Cry 3 on PC, and then when I was done with that game, I played Assassin's Creed games. I think I played like four of them straight, and then I went back to another first-person shooter game, which was Crysis, right? Now here's the deal with Crysis. Because Crysis is an older game, right? The gameplay of Crysis is completely different from any other first person shooter that I had ever played. The controls are different as well. For instance, right, it's universally known that if you're holding a controller and you pull on that left trigger, right, what are you doing? What are you doing when you pull on that left trigger? You're aiming down sight, right? That right trigger is to fire. In Crysis, that is not the case. In Crysis, the right bumper aims down sight and you shoot with the right trigger. That completely blew my mind. It was something different that I had to get used to. Okay, and it has its reasons because the left trigger does something else. I can remember what it did. Actually, I think the left trigger like threw grenades, which is actually, to be honest with you, it's actually not bad. Like, because like you run somewhere, throw a grenade, shoot, like, it actually wasn't that bad. You get used to it. That's all I'm saying. You get used to it. But then Far Cry 3 compared to Crisis is a completely different game because in Crisis you're wearing this thing called a nano suit. You got, I guess you could call them superpowers, right? So it changes the gameplay. It changes how you approach. Make sure my camera's straight. Good. It changes the way you approach things. It changes yeah, like just the way you complete a mission. It changes it, and the game knows this. So you have different options, which is freaking pretty. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. So you play to your skill level. Now, so is that a bad thing, right? Because now when I went to play Crisis 2 now did feel like a traditional first person shooter game. Again, the actual game itself is different because again you still had all these superpowers and everything, but the controls were more to what I was used to. And here's the deal, guys, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not. What these companies are doing is they're seeing what works and they're grabbing from the other companies that are doing it and they're implementing it in their game. And if they find that a controller scheme works particularly well and gamers are really comfortable with that, for the sake of keeping gamers or having gamers go to their game, they'll keep that exactly the same and change stuff like the story or other stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Companies though might be afraid to do something a little bit too different. Because when they do, sometimes us, the consumers, we punish them. We will punish them. And when it comes to first person shooter games, it does feel like you're just playing a long first person shooter game. Like if you're a fan of those types of games, because you can literally finish a game, pick up another game, and besides the guns and the story, it's almost like you're playing the same game, right? But if you guys remember, Battlefield actually tried to change. Battlefield had a game called Battlefield Hardline that went completely different from the traditional Battlefield formula. And it was received with mixed reviews, you know? It was mixed. So what does Battlefield do for the next game? Went back to something that it kind of knew a little bit better. Think about when all the freaking first person shooter games were doing the space futuristic war stuff, and then out of nowhere they all went back to old war, right? So again, it's companies are figuring out what's working, what's not working, and they're grabbing from each other. PUBG comes out, okay, and I don't know if PUBG was the first battle royale game, but I know that it was one of the bigger ones. Originally, it was one of the bigger ones, right? Fortnite saw the success of PUBG. Fortnite comes out, took a huge chance, changed the gameplay completely with the fact that you could build stuff, and succeeded. See, so they grabbed a formula that was already working, and they added a new element that changed the gameplay. It's pretty huge. Then freaking Apex Legends comes out, right? Apex Legends now is also a battle royale game, but you have 3-person squads, right? Originally that's what they came out with. So that changed the dynamics. You what's the other thing? You could get knocked down and not necessarily die. Your team could revive you. You could go ahead, not only that, but you could also respawn, right? And the gamers loved it so much, and Fortnite saw it that Fortnite went ahead and took it. Apex Legends had a ping system, which meant you didn't actually need a voice chat, you could just ping. Fortnite saw that it worked, and took it. So essentially, you could be playing now. You could be playing the same game in certain aspects. Now, obviously, it would have been crazy if Apex Legends starts with like building mechanics. Please don't do it. Please don't. Dude, please don't. There's the people that play Apex that don't play Fortnite because of the building mechanics. Like some of us can't stand it. I hate to have to be shooting at you and then you build a wall in front of me. These people are carrying all this stuff in their backpacks. They got a whole freaking Lowe's in their backpacks that they're building walls and freaking staircases with. That's ridiculous. I mean, I know video games aren't realistic anyways, but come on. You know, build a whole house in front of me as I'm trying to kill you. Anyways, I'm going on a Fortnite rant. It's because I suck. All right, I'll be honest with you. I'm not good at it. Okay. But there is a company out there, though, that does not continue to give us the exact same game over and over again. A company that's extremely innovative, and whether you like them or not, it's Nintendo. Now, hear me out before you say that Nintendo actually does give you the same thing. Hear me out, okay? Super Mario 64, right, is not Super Mario Sunshine. Completely different game, completely different mechanics. Both classics. Super Mario Sunshine is not Super Mario Galaxy. Completely different game, completely different mechanics. The only thing that's weird about Nintendo is that like the story is almost always the same, right? It's either Peach is usually the one in trouble, right? And Mario has to go save her. Mario has to go save some female. I mean, when is Mario gonna learn? But whatever, right? Super Mario 3D World is different than Super Mario Galaxy. Nintendo innovative like crazy, and for them it pays off. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Okay? So applaud Nintendo at least. But all these other companies, either they don't feel that comfortable or they just don't know how to do it. Which is which is fine. It's fine. And this is why it's fine, right? Like I said, I like third person shooters, right? I like first person shooters and I like adventure games, right? Probably in that order. So I'm cool that I get to play Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, freaking a Thieves not Thieves End, what's the other one? Not a Thieves End. Which is the other one? The the one with the two females. I can't remember the name of it, but it's also another Uncharted game. Um, The Last of Us, right? Third person shooter. The Tomb Raiders, third person shooters. I love the fact that I have all those games that I get to play. All the Gears of Wars, right? I love the fact that I have all those games that I could play before I'm like, damn, I don't have enough third person shooters again. The Just Cause games, even though those feel a little bit different, but they're still third person shooters. A little open world third person shooter, but you know, I love that. I love that. Okay. When it comes to first person shooters, oh man, if I wanted to play that for the rest of my life, I probably could. There's so many of them out there. So again, it's not a bad thing. Like right now I'm going through all the crisis. Then I'm gonna go back, do all the Far Cries. Then I definitely want to do the Handsome Collection Borderlands. Then I want to do what's the other one I want to do? Um what's the other one I want to do? Oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of them. I can see it. I can see it in my head. The games I'm trying to think about. It'll come to me. But I mean, so to me that's good. And you might have a certain type of game that you enjoy, that you like to play, that you like, that there's other games that are like it, just different. So you could kind of continue playing that same type of game. So again, is it good? Is it bad? It all depends. I can see what my boy was saying though, because you could get tired of it. You could get tired of it. Like when I'm done with Crisis 2, I don't know if I'm gonna play another first person shooter or if I'm gonna go back to the Assassin's Creed games. Because I need to play Black Flag and on. So I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. So let me know. First, let me know what type of games do you guys like to play? What's your type of genre games? Do you feel like these companies are just pumping out the exact same games with just a little bit of tweak of difference? And then how do you feel about that? Like honestly, how do you feel about it? Do you feel some type of way? Oh, the Mass Effect games. I gotta play all of those too. Can't forget Mass Effect. Those are oh, and the BioShock collections. Oh man, I have so many awesome games that I still haven't played. And I know it's the type of genre that I like. So is it a bad thing? I don't know. If you change it too much, it's gonna be a bad thing. I'm being honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want the Far Cry 3s to play like all the Far Cries pretty much. I do. I'm being honest with you. And then I want the Gears of Wars to play like the Gears of Wars, and freaking Mass Effects to play like Mass Effects, and all these games that I'm mentioning, like the Mass Effects and the freaking Gears of War, are gonna be kind of similar because they're both third-person shooters, and the freaking um the battlefields and the modern warfares and then the Call of Duties, those are all gonna play similar. But that again, I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that? And when I want something different, I go to Nintendo. I guess. I mean, Sony did it. Sony came out with Horizon Zero Dawn. That game was pretty different, right? Pretty different. So I don't know, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you think these companies are doing the same thing over and over again, getting our money? We're dropping pre-orders to play the same game that we played 3 months ago. That's pretty much what my boy was complaining about. He had pre-ordered the game, played the game, and then 4 months later, this brand new game was supposed to come out. He gets that game for full price, starts playing it, and realized that he literally just spent $120 in a span of like freaking, I don't know, 6 months for the exact same game, just different skins. I would feel some type of way if I was him. But you know me, I am a budget gamer. I'm not paying over $20 for a freaking game, and that's a lot. Now that I got a PC, I ain't paying over $10 for a game unless it's a collection. But now I'm just ranting. Dark 1985, you already know there's levels to this, and the level of the innovation that some of these game developers have versus others, there's levels to it. We out. Peace.